So lately I've been looking for reasons why Lamont turned so evil. Because he had been a good man when I first married him. Well, he claimed he was abused. Get out of there. No getting in the cat box. He claimed he was abused as a child, which we all know today that holds no water in society. You can overcome childhood abuse. I did. Excuse me, I've got another cold. Now, he told me that he used to eat at the soup kitchen where Jeffrey Dahmer used to volunteer. And he had told me of fears that he may have eaten human meat that Dahmer may have put in the food. Now, as to this theory, I don't know if that can actually change a person's brain chemistry or not to make them evil. Or whether Dahmer actually put human meat in the soup kitchen food. I don't know. I don't really know if that can actually change a person to make them evil. To feed them human meat. So, another theory is the apartment that we used to live in on Don Juan definitely had something that was not human. And I have long wondered if the thing in it didn't attach itself to Lamont. Because after we left it, he went downhill rapidly. Hurting Trisha, telling me that I needed to give her up to adoption and divorce him, to forget we were ever married and I ever gave birth to her, and he wasn't going to fight for her. And then after I managed to keep our family together, all the evil things he did afterwards. Countless evil things. The brutal murder of our unborn twins by abuse. The isolating me from friends and family. The constant plots to get me out of my house. Running up my bills. Shutting off my utilities when he moved out. Lying to the police to get me arrested over and over. I mean, wielding the restraint order like a weapon, threatening to kill me, not once but several times. Trying to kill our daughter. Selling my van out from underneath me. I could go on and on and on. He robbed my house while I was in the hospital. Took all my food, shut off all my pantry accounts while I was in the hospital. told them that I moved out of town when I really didn't. I mean, it just went on and on and on. And telling people that I didn't have a stroke, that I was actually in jail when I was in the hospital. I keep trying to think what could turn a mind that evil. I'm thinking demonic possession, the Dahmer thing. The abuse thing, the abuse theory. I don't know. Or maybe he really is just that evil. And my sister's no better. She's still telling people that I'm lying about our past. That everything she did is a lie. She takes no responsibility for her actions. Attacking me and Trisha, attacking Aurora. Getting our family banned from Logansport in 2001. And then attacking, or giving no reason why she's ostracized from our family now. From our Marion family. Why she's no longer allowed here. I mean, she can't even keep her stories straight. Instead, she's got a cult following believing that I'm lying about everything. Got them drinking her Kool-Aid. Like Jim Jones. Well, Heather, you do know that Jim Jones was from Indiana too, right? And that he picked up his little tricks in jail too? Think about that one. Anyway, I've been talking to friends about what was going on with the racketeering here in Marion when it came to the real estate. When I brought to attention what was going on with the house here, that I was paying attention to my taxes dropping like they were, and when I went into the assessors and finding out that my house had been reported abandoned and was going to be demolished, with me still living in it, I guess I started off a huge investigation, and that they found my house was far from the only one slated for this kind of racketeering. And I guess it saved a whole lot of houses in Marion that people were still living in. That people had deeds to and people were still living in. I'm glad I made a big stink about it. Anyway, I guess there are people in the construction business that were putting them up to this, and they're going down. This led to code enforcement being looked into. They had also been stealing cars from people, going into private property and stealing cars. I witnessed this on my block with some of my neighbors. So, yeah, the code enforcement person is being investigated hard. And I guess it's even going up to the mayor office. The DCS office is being investigated hard too, thanks to the lawsuit being brought by the foster care kids, and they've been bringing in the parents as well, not the foster care parents, but the biological parents. Moi, and not just me, a whole lot of us. So, yeah. Corruption is starting to become unsealed. Just like Kiwi Farms was taken down, all this corruption is going. It helps to keep screaming. We will never be quiet. Now, something else my friend and I have been talking about is whether the previous owner of my house, Donald Dilly, didn't already have a beef with Teddy before he died. And that unknowingly, I inherited that beef when I bought the house. And I didn't know it. That for some reason, Teddy hates me because I bought the house. Well, Teddy didn't come to me and tell me what it was. He had 3 years to buy the house before I bought it, and he didn't do it. Because it was on the market for 3 years. Big time oops on his part. So why didn't he buy it in those 3 years instead of being ticked off at me for 20 years after I bought it? Seems a little stupid to me. Shows a retarded brain, if you ask me. He should have grabbed it when he had the chance. And from what I understand, I guess he was paying Leverett to try to shove me out. And finally, when Leverett proved he couldn't do it after 17 years, Leverett just said, I'm out of here. This woman's too crazy for me. And apparently that's why Teddy decided to take matters into his own hands and try to intimidate me himself with his gun. Because his new renter said, we ain't doing it. Apparently they have far more ethics than Teddy does. And more ethics than Leverett does. So, Because apparently the corruption is being exposed. Thank you, God. The House of Cards is coming tumbling down. Hopefully we'll be able to clean up Marion finally. Please, God, let us clean this town up. We've had enough sorrows.